Well, good evening, Freedom Hall, and welcome to the 1997 edition of the National Farm Machinery Show Championship Tractor Pull. I'm Butch Krieger, along with a host of a bunch of other crew members here, and we're getting ready to go here tonight with the competition here, the first night here, Wednesday night of the National Farm Machinery Show Championship Tractor Pull. But before we get started here tonight, we'd like to introduce to you the representative from Zeniga Ag Products, Mr. Jeff Gazizik, the people who are the major sponsor here, once again, for the National Farm Machinery Show Championship Tractor Pull. Folks, let's give Jeff a big Louisville welcome. How about it? Jeff Gazizik.
Thank you, Butch. Glad to be here. This is our 12th year in a row.
All right, Jeff, 12 years doing this, and we really appreciate Zeniga once again. I understand you got about 5,000 or 6,000 guests this weekend. Is that right?
Yes, we have quite a few that'll be in. We have some special guests from Canada, as always, and we have some folks from Germany, and then we have a lot of special guests from our districts around the Louisville area.
And you're a Bowling Green man, isn't that right?
That's correct, Butch.
Down there in Warren. One from the great state of Pennsylvania, from Pendleton, Pennsylvania, driving Super Moose, Carl Schuler. Up number 2, out of Winchester, Kansas, driving the Hurricane Alice, Travis Doman. Out of Osco, Illinois, the ace in the hole, here's Jerry Runau.
Our 4th competitor from Ida, Michigan, driving the red-hot Edward Clock. From North Canton, Ohio, driving the Green Gate Deer, Lawrence Klein, Jr.
It's a nice round of applause, folks.
Introducing the drivers now for the 7,200-pound modified tractor class here this evening. We'll start things off this evening with the driver from Glencoe, Minnesota, driving the Pack Rat. Here's Dennis Christensen. From Cambridge, Iowa, driving the River Rat, here's Wayne Longnecker. And driving a truck called the Pioneer from Lowell, Ohio, Dave Archer.
And a family tradition continues here once again at the Farm Show. Out of Mount Vernon, Illinois, driving Just Add Dirt, here's Brian Piper. Out of Camden, Ohio, farmer two-wheel drive truck driver driving Multi-Chaos, Randy Petro. And out of Paris, Tennessee, down and dirty, here's Jerry Stewart.
Driving the Top Gun from Stonington, Illinois, Tom Bollinger. And from Akron, Ohio, driving the Green Monster, Art Arfons. From Lapeer, Michigan, driving the Wild Child, here's Bob Jostock.
Out of New Baden, Illinois, driving Track Fever, here's Kevin Firking. From Alvington, Ontario, driving the Spook, here's Bill Douglas Jr. And out of New Haven, Indiana, driving the In-Laws and Outlaws, here's Jim Brockman.
And rounding out the field, pulling 14th this evening in this class, from Batavia, Iowa, driving the Terminator, here's Tony Martin. And the Randy Canadian from Melita, Manitoba, Bill Lawrence. And finally, from Weldon, Illinois, driving the Dirt Slinger, here's Bill Leisner.
Folks, let's give our modified tractor drivers a nice round of applause. We'll transfer to Saturday night show. The top 4 in the class will transfer. All right, John Deere people, here we go. The first John Deere of 1997. All right, let's give him a nice round of applause. The first puller of 1997.
Okay, Butch, I tell you now, he hauled that weight all the way down the course here. What adjustments will they make, or will they make any at all to the weight?
Well, what they do generally, Frank, they'll wait and they'll maybe make another shot with one more tractor, find out how he does, maybe even 3 at the time, and then they'll decide what they're going to do, whether they're going to change the weight transfer or whether they're going to stay with what they've got. So we'll have to find out here tonight what they decided to do here with the Super Moose and the Schuler pulling team. In the drivers' meeting today, they talked about how moist the track was. Well, I'll tell you what, that tractor got a hold of the track, no doubt about it, man. That front end came up, and he was rocking and rolling here tonight at Freedom Hall. Well, good, we're glad to hear that. But here we go now, the Hurricane Alice, the AGCO Alice on the starting line. Travis Doman out of Winchester, Kansas on the line. Ouch. Well, he'll get another shot, folks. He shut it off in time. Hopefully everything's okay with the Charger and everything. And maybe he just pulled the wrong gear coming out. And it looks like they are going to take him on back and give him one more shot. Another thing, it's a little bit different driving indoors with these guys. You know, when you're outside pulling, you got an opportunity to check the smoke, you know, and when it goes from the good old white grayish color, and when it starts revving it up and changes to black, these guys know exactly when to take off. But it's a little bit different here in Freedom Hall when you got that stack going to that big hose down there trying to figure out, man, when do I go? And do I got the right gear or what? But evidently everything's okay with the Kansas-based machine, and they're going to bring him back to the starting line.
Well, the Hurricane Alice was relegated to a tropical depression just about 20-25 feet off that starting line. Let's see if he can wind it up and do it again.
All right, Travis Doman, Winchester, Kansas. A lot of popping and banging.
No, it doesn't sound good at all, Butch. Sounds like the engine is misfiring of some sort here. Let's see what happens, though.
Well, folks, that's all she wrote. Obviously, with Charger problems here tonight, let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it, folks? Travis Doman, Winchester, Kansas.
40 feet, 240 feet. So that was the pull that was established, our first initial puller tonight. 240 feet.
240 even right there for Schuler. 240 feet even, so he will, of course, be our leader here with the Super Moose. We are still unofficial at this time as we continue on here this evening.
100.19 was the distance pulled before the Hurricane Alice became a tropical depression, along about that 100-foot mark. Shut down on him there. So that'll bring up our third puller tonight in the 10,200-pound pro stock tractor class, driving the ace in the hole out of Osco, Illinois, Jerry Runau.
Oh, Jerry hit it right. Here he comes, rocking and rolling. All right, John Deere people, let's give him a nice round of applause.
Well, Butch, he really grabbed some air just about the mid portion of the track on the way down here and really got the front end up on it, but brought it back down again. It looks like a really good pull here. We'll get the official distance here momentarily.
238 and 95. 238.95 for Jerry Runau. Actually, before he had his problems and had to have the surgery done, he did have most of the work done on the tractor. So Ed looking for a good run here tonight. Ed Clark, Ida, Michigan, in red hot. Here we go. Whoa! All right, good run, rock and roll rodeo. Let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it, international people? Red hot. And Ed Clark out of Ida, Michigan with the International right there.
5'8", 230.58 for Edward Clock. So far, that's good enough for the third longest.
Of Ohio does. Finished at 5th in the state points in Ohio last year. Let's watch what happens to Lawrence Klein Jr. and the Green Gate Deer. Good run. How about a John Deere, people? Let's give him a nice round of applause. Another good run for Klein and the Green Gate Deer out of North Canton, Ohio, right there.
5'7", 234.57. So a good pull there for Lawrence Klein.
Hey, you know, in our age of computers, man, I'll tell you what, there's so many things going on. Even our friend Photo Joe, he's going to cover the 1997 National Farm Machinery Show Championship Tractor Pull in his Full Pull magazine, of course, coming out in April. But, man, he's even got a website now. Oh, here we go with the River Rat now. Kevin Masterson. Oh, what I tell you, look at that, folks, right there. Man, oh, man. How about a John Deere, people? I want to hear from you right now. The River Rat, Kevin Masterson.
7.18, so Masterson up on top of the standings.
Man, that Indiana tractor was cooking, folks. 247.18. Congratulations to Kevin Masterson and the River Rat, the Masterson Farms. Those guys made a great shot. The Hunt Equipment Company, Boonville, Indiana, made a good run. Kevin's kind of happy there. Looking good. Here comes Simonson now, though, with the Revenuer. All right. Well, our sled tonight is the Iron Man, built by Bayer Manufacturing, out of Peyton, Illinois, or Peyton, Iowa, I should say.
06, 227.06 for Rod Simonson. Let's give him a nice round of applause.
Boy, he made a heck of a run. Let's give him a nice round of applause, folks. Good run for the Irish Challenger. Kenny and Shelley Bryan out of Jamestown, Ohio. Good run.
Looked like a real serious run there, getting down here again to the other end. It looked like he was just about ready to take it to the sand, but again, coming up a little bit short there. Again, we'll get the official distance in just a moment. 8.38 for Kenny Bryant.
And man, that puts him right on the bubble right there. 238.38. He goes on the bubble. We've got a 238.95, a 240, and a 247 in front of him. And he goes on the bubble right now in the number 4 spot on the bubble. All right, Massey Ferguson on the line right now as he comes on up here. Our Massey Ferguson tractor ready to come at you. One of the first of the Masseys tonight. And let's see, we got a 28.05 here on the starting line. Been pulled a lot of 28.05s around a long time. Pro stock, 1 turbocharger, lots of horsepower. Let's watch these wheels spin on this tractor. Massey Ferguson's got a different kind of sound, folks, I'll tell you. Let's see what he does. Whoa, good shot right there. Nice run for the Clinton, Michigan-based machine. A 28.05 Storm right there out of the Aaron's Farms. Good run.
Sure was, Butch. I tell you, that was a sassy Massey coming down through there. But again, a good effort here tonight in Freedom Hall. And the distance is 237.78. 237.78 for Jeff Ahrens.
Well, Kenny Bryant dodged the bullet on that, so he is still in the competition.
It's just about clear. Here's Randy Campbell now out of Homeworth, Ohio.
And good run for that John Deere. Now he may have bumped the Bryant tractor. We'll find out. 42.50. Campbell, we'll wait and see. He made a good run.
6.5, 241.65. So a good pull there for Randy Campbell.
Yeah, and that'll knock out the Bryant tractor of Kenny Bryant. He's going to go to 5th now. And that puts Jerry Runow on the bubble now for 4th. Jerry Runow on the bubble for 4th. 241.65. That puts Randy Campbell. I told you this tractor could be unpredictable in the number 2 spot. Good run for Campbell.
All right, let's give him a big send-off here.
Whoa, you talk about redlining, I'll tell you what. Man, that thing was upstairs big time, no doubt about it. He was cooking with the RPMs. A lot of wheel spin there as he made his run that time. The International known as Preparation H number 2, Tom Harmon out of North Branch, Michigan. He was 2nd in Pro Stock points last year in Michigan, finished number 2 in the Pro Stock points up his way.
0.83, 229.83. So good pull for Tom Harmon. Monty McCoy up next, Warsaw, Ohio, driver out of the Buckeye Stake.
All right, here we come with that next John Deere out of Warsaw, Ohio. Here we come. Monty McCoy. Oh, man, that hurt right there. Had a good run going, folks. Let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it, Freedom Hall? What do you say? Tough luck for that 60-30. Yes, sirree. McCoy, 211.40, 211.40, 211.40. For sure, no doubt about it. Pro Stock is such a large class here. We run 3 10,000-pound pros on the weekend because there are so many Pro Stockers. Here we go now. Doug McKinley, Winamac, Indiana. Ouch. Well, hopefully everything's okay with that case. He hasn't done the seatbelt. Now he's putting it back on again. John Blaney, our starting line attendant down there. The flagman, of course, watching things. We've got Carl Mercer at this end of the track. And we're getting ready to give him another shot here. You get 2 shots to make it here at Freedom Hall. And we're going to give him another shot here in just a minute.
I believe that's what you call a do-over.
A do-over? Is that what you said? We're going to do it over. All right, here we go. Gerald Acker sitting in the saddle over there. He'll be ready to come on. And then we'll have the final shot there with Dave Fultz. We'll crown our first champion of the 1997 season. And right there for the Case machine of Doug McKinley out of Winamac, Indiana. Case tractor with some problems here tonight. A little light on the nose when he left the starting line, a little bouncing action. How about it, Freedom Hall? Let's give him a nice round of applause. What do you say? Doug McKinley out of Winamac, Indiana. 0.89, 149.89, 149 and 89 for Doug McKinley.
Ohio and the mover.
Well, new sheet metal on the mover now. Let's see what happens with the machine of Gerald Acker. Shreve, Ohio on the starting line. Well, the mover, it's utter cool right there. The Case IH 7250 comes up just a little bit short here tonight. .222.26. 222.26 for Acker out of Shreve, Ohio. Here we go now with Fultz. Not a bad run for Dave Fultz. But your winner, folks, is going to be Kevin Masterson. I want to tell you right now, where are my John Deere fans in the audience? All right, John Deere, here you go. You got 4 John Deere tractors going to Saturday night's championship. No doubt about it. 4 John Deeres. All right, here we come with Christensen on the starting line, ladies and gentlemen. 497 cubic inch Chevrolet Motors online right here. He'll be our test puller here tonight. The Pack Rat. Whoa! How about that, folks? And the pull distance here for Dennis Christensen, 233.12. 233.12. 233.12 for Dennis Christensen. All right, so the Pack Rat has set the pace here in competition. Now, folks, coming up next here will be the first of our Allison aircraft engines, the V12, the 12-cylinder Allisons. Now, I'm going to tell you something about this young man coming up here. This guy has perfected Allisons. I remember, you know, it's pretty tough for him to pull in some of the heavier classes, but when you get down to 72 mod, where you only got 3 engines running, this guy runs 2. The V8 type motors, so you're only limited to 3 motors here tonight. That's all you can run in this class. You have the turbines, of course. We have 2 turbines on Arfon's tractor, and of course we've got the Allison aircraft engines coming up here now. These are 12 cylinders, 6 cylinders on each side, generally producing somewhere in the area of around 1,700 horsepower or better. And these babies will cook. These are the old aircraft engines out of World War II and so forth. Now, these guys have perfected them to the point where they can supercharge them. They can also fuel injection to them, everything. And I'll tell you what, you're going to see some incredible horsepower coming out of this River Rat in just a minute. And here he comes right now, Wayne Longnecker. Here is one tractor to watch here. It's twin turbocharged, ladies and gentlemen. The front motor is twin turbocharged. Then he runs regular, naturally aspirated on the back, fuel injected, as he brings his machine here to the line. Wayne Longnecker. Now let's see what happens. You watch the wheel spin that these aircraft motors produce, and you're going to be very, very surprised. Frank, wherever you are, as soon as we run him here, we'll go to you, buddy boy. All right, so let's get ready to bring him on. Wayne Longnecker. Him and I always have private bets when Indiana and Indiana and Iowa play basketball. Well, he's one up on me already. So here we come. He's fired the second engine right now. Okay, turbochargers alive. We're ready to go with Wayne Longnecker and his River Rat. Let's see what happens here tonight. Let's see if those Allison aircraft engines are all sync, working good. Watch the sand pile. It's very possible. Here we go. All right, right there, folks. A good, strong run for Wayne Longnecker and his River Rat. out of Cambridge, Iowa, right there. All right, folks, he shut it off. Now he can hear you. Let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it? Wayne Longnecker, folks. On deck will be Dave Archer and then Brian Piper. Frank, if you're ready, take it away.
Okay, thank you very much, Butch. Well, we're up here in, it's like product contains soybean. Do women use daily? And your answer? Cosmetics, you're right. You're the winner. $20, how about that? All right, there you go. All righty, Butch, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Frank Scott. Here we go now. On the line, Dave Archer, the Pioneer. This guy runs all over the Ohio circuit. He's out of Lowell, Ohio, folks. He comes to us tonight here ready to go rocking and rolling. The National Farm Machinery Show. Championship tractor pull. On the line, Dave Archer. Whoa! Hammer down, folks. 3 in a row. 1, 2, 3. Blowing Chevrolets right there. How about it, folks? Let's give Dave Archer a nice round of applause. What do you say? Dave Archer, ladies and gentlemen, out of Lowell, Ohio. Here's your pull distance now, 230.86. 230.86. 230.86. All right, our next tractor up will be Just Add Dirt. And there are 3 Bowen Arius engines on board, all aluminum block Arius engines. Now, let's talk about this tractor. If you happen to see a television commercial where you saw them advertising the Cub Cadets, this is the tractor that was on TV during the burnout across the lawn right here. So this tractor is a television star, no doubt about it. Brian Piper continues the Piper family. His dad, Mike, has pulled for years. His grandfather, Henry Piper, pulled for years in super stock. They're farmers out in Illinois. Just Add Dirt. Here we come with Brian Piper from Mount Vernon, Illinois. Whoa! Man, that Allison aircraft engines, look out. Here comes the Pipers, no doubt about it. Well, he shuts those Arius engines off. How about it, folks? Let's give Brian Piper a nice round of applause. He's going to shake the order up, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. With the Just Add Dirt Arius-fired machine right there. So he needed better than 240.49 to go in the number 1 spot. We'll mark him, see where he went. Your leader, of course, Wayne Longnecker, at 240.49. Here you come, Piper, 238.41. That puts him in the number 2 spot. 238.41 for Piper. 238.41. He moves to the number 2 spot. Frank, take it away.
Okay, thank you very much, Butch. Do we have any more players for the soybean trivia game? We're over here in section 137 now. Do we have any players here that's been studying the ad? Have you studied the ad? I bet you have. Great, okay. What's your name?
Tim.
Okay, Tim, we got to be real fast here because they're going to bring out another truck, or tractor, I should say. Here's the trivia question. Which soybean product, which soybean product is used most in chocolate bars? And what is the answer?
Lichen.
You're right. L, Lichen. You get 20 bucks. How about that? Our thanks going out to Soybean Association. Can't wait to play tomorrow night. Let's go back to more tractor pulling action and Butch Krieger.
All right, thank you very much. Here's multi-chaos now. Randy Petro out of Camden, Ohio, comes to the line. Randy Petro. Well, let's see here. Randy Petro bought this tractor recently, homemade chassis. Let's see here. We got a lot of interest. He used to be a 2-wheel drive puller. I think he still is. Ran a lot on the national tour, the NTPA tour. Let's see what happens now. Okay, folks, let's give Randy Petro a nice round of applause. How about it? Kills these motors, these blower motors. It takes him about 7 seconds to shut down, roughly, after he puts a kill switch on them. So, Randy, come back and see us next year. Randy Petro, folks, out of Camden, Ohio. In the pull distance, 2:30 and 10. 2:30 and 10 for Petro. 2:30.10. 2:30.10. All right. Here's Jerry Stewart now with Down and Dirty. Down and Dirty out of Paris, Tennessee. As he fires his machine up over there. Well, he used to run 2 motors. Now he runs 3. Jerry Stewart. This guy has won more championships on the Alabama and Kentucky, Tennessee tour. And Alabama and Tennessee have one fine, outstanding circuit on the state level. And this guy has been king the last 4 years with Down and Dirty. So let's see what happens now. On the line, Jerry Stewart out of Paris, Tennessee. with Down and Dirty. Oh, Chevrolet's motor sounding good. Here we go. Oh, man, oh, man. Boy, those Keith Black Hemis came to life, folks. I'll tell you what. The Keith Black Hemis came to life, and man, oh, man, he put it in the sand pile. Let's give him a nice round of applause. Jerry Stewart. Paris, Tennessee. And that man's going to go in the #1 spot, no doubt about it, Frank.
He took it all the way into the sand. I tell you, the Chrysler-powered tractor there really had a good run there and took it all the way into the sand. So I would wager to say that's one of the top pulls of the evening so far. Take a look at the distance here. Of course, is a full pull. He took it completely into the sand, and that ranks right up there. That is the first full pull of this class. That coming in the 6th pull in this class. Jerry Stewart out of Paris, Tennessee, and Down and Dirty. I'd like to welcome the What Cheer Iowa FFA, Steve Gatton. Steve has been to 25 pulls here in a row. Well, welcome back to Freedom Hall. What Cheer Iowa. I'd like to wish a happy 9th birthday to Brandon Foreman from Seymour, Indiana. This is all he wanted to do today on his birthday, come to the tractor pulls, and I can't think of anything better to do here in Louisville, Kentucky. The distance for Jerry Stewart is a 246.99, 246.99, and the full pull mark is at 245, so we got a definite full pull out of Jerry Stewart. 246.99. We'd like to welcome the Woodbury, Tennessee FFA. Bill Bowman and Eric Bogle, advisors. Got to understand they have 18 members here tonight. They want to say, hey, Richland. Woodbury, Tennessee FFA. Welcome to Freedom Hall.
Well, our next Twin Allison will be coming up, and this will be the Top Gun machine of Tom Bollinger out of Stonington, Illinois. Illinois. Coming to the line, Tom Bollinger and Top Gun. Now this Allison aircraft machine, they sit side by side on this tractor here. They all go back to one gearbox, of course. And let's see what happens here. Both engines fuel injected. Kind of sit on an angle here as he takes his Top Gun machine back. Tom Bollinger from Stonington, Illinois, driving the Top Gun machine. On deck will be Mr. Art Arfons, and in the hole will be Bob Jostock. Well, that V12 Allison once again pulled again. Now that's just fuel that's collected in the top of the headers there. It just burns off real cool. That's the alcohol. He'll clean it out and lean it out in just a minute. No problem whatsoever with the tractor itself. little bit of fire and flame show for you right here, but it looks super good, I'll tell you. And we'll mark his distance. We may be a keeper. I don't know. We'll find out. Tom Bollinger, Stonington, Illinois.
Once again, you got to keep in mind, although it wasn't all the way into the sand, that the top 4 finishers here this evening will earn a spot in the finals on Saturday. Here's the distance, 234.50. 234.50 for Tom Bollinger and the Top Gun.
All right, that's going to put him on the bubble right there. He will be on the bubble. Your leader, Jerry Stewart. Second, Wayne Longnecker. Third, Brian Piper. And fourth, Tom Bollinger. So he goes on the bubble here in the competition tonight in the modified category. Well, folks, this gentleman right here, they threw the mold, they threw the book, they threw everything away when they made this guy, or after they made him. I remember being a high school student, going to Indianapolis Raceway Park years ago, and watching him run a jet dragster known as the Green Monster. I'll tell you what, this man has been around a long time. He is in the International Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen, in motorsports. He has drove at Bonneville on the Salt Flats. But his true love the last few years has been nothing but modified tractor pulling. Now, he had a small turbine engine that pulled that machine up on the track. He will fire both of the turbines with that small engine. Now, he'll first fire the left engine, then he'll fire the right. Now, that has 2 large discharge exhaust elbows that sit right behind him. And you will know when he will start to be ready, because you'll start to see flames rise out of those turbines on the back there. You will start to see the flames rise. Now, he takes a little bit longer than the other guys do to get rolling here. But I want to draw your attention to the wheel spin and the horsepower that this tractor produces when he makes his run here tonight. Mr. Art Arfons, ladies and gentlemen, here we come. Watch him go. He's on his way. Oh, man, he had a terrible run there. Whoa. A lot of flames, folks. We need to get the fire extinguishers out there right away. Fire everywhere. A lot of fuel under the tractor. Let's get them sprayed off, folks. Shuts the engines down, folks. Man, oh, man, that is one tough ride tonight for Mr. Art Alphonse. He had some problems. I've never seen him leave the starting line before without having the flames leave the back of the turbines, and tonight it did not happen. He just took off. He got airborne a little bit. A lot of fuel pouring out of the back of the turbines. But, ladies and gentlemen, he seems to be okay. Let's give Art a nice round of applause. How about it, ladies and gentlemen? What do you say? Art Arfons, out of Ohio. Akron, Ohio, in his Green Monster. Art seems to be okay. He's just more concerned about the tractor than anything else. That one turbine seemed to have some major problems. We'll go over and take a look here. We still have one of the turbines running. I don't exactly know which one it is, but Art trying to get things shut down the best way he can. He bent both the rims. If you can see the rim over here, ladies and gentlemen, he bent that rim really good. And I know he's got to be not too much of a happy camper after this particular run right here as they look things over here tonight. Art has a lot of fuel all over him. He was sprayed pretty good, folks. Unfortunately, nothing really happened there, but we'll have to take our time and get this mess cleaned up a little bit here before we bring our next tractor down, because we want no particular advantage here to him. Art seems to be okay, though. We were concerned about Art and that rough ride that he took, but he seems to be okay, folks. I can get here in just a second and talk to him. Art, are you doing okay?
Yes.
You guess so, huh? What happened, Art?
I didn't come out right, and then when it took hold, it just took hold too quick.
And what'd you blow? Did you hurt the engines here, or we lose the rear end? What'd we lose?
I don't know.
Gonna have to check it all out, huh? Well, it's tough, I know. Kind of a disappointing run for you tonight. But I'll tell you what, you got a lot of fans here in the arena. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Art a nice round of applause. How about it?
Yeah.
You're welcome. Baby, and it was pumping that fluid out like it was going like crazy. And that was actually a hydraulic fluid. It was not fuel, but it was hydraulic fluid that came out of that tractor. So, but everything's okay. Art's all right. And we're ready to go with Bob Jostock now out of Lampere, Michigan. Oh, and I'll tell you what, this guy goes by his name, the Wild Child. Let's see what happens here now. Wild Child machine itself, Bob Jostock. Folks, let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it, Bob Jostock?
And the official distance for Bob Jostock is 204.52. 204.52 for Bob Jostock and the Wild Child.
Are these yours?
Okay, up next, out of New Baden, Illinois, and driving the Track Fever, Kevin Furking. Kevin Furking up next. Driver out of Illinois.
Now, you may see some of these tractors with 4 engines on them. If you see one with 4 engines on it, they are still only running 3. What they're doing is they tape the headers of the motor that's not being used. They're taping the headers off of the motor that's not being used. So we want to let you know that even though you see 4 motors on some of the modified tractors, they are only running 3 engines, and they are taping 1 engine off so that you know which one is not running. All right, here's Furking back now. This guy can create a lot of problems here. This guy can shake the order up. It's a good running tractor coming to us out of Illinois. Furking's been here before. Let's see what happens now. Bill Douglas Jr. on deck, then Jim Brockman. We got 2 staunch tractors coming. Tony Martin also. Bill Lawrence, one of the winners last year in the Randy Canadian. He's here too. We're going to have a good show yet. It's not over yet, folks. It's not over till it's over. tell you what, rear end locked up real quick on him, folks, and just kind of locked on him real fast. And I don't exactly know what internally happened, but maybe been planetary or whatever, but it just broke and quit pulling. The rear wheels were skidding as he came down the track. Let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it, folks? Kevin Ferking, he had a good run going. Tough luck for Kevin, man, I'll tell you. Well, do we have any Kentucky basketball fans here tonight? No? All right. Well, I'm going to give you the score anyway. The final score in the Kentucky-LSU game, LSU 48, Kentucky 84. You thought I was telling it different, didn't you? Okay. Fooled you, didn't I? All right.
Butch, is that a confirmed report?
That is the confirmed report.
That is
no
official,
doubt.
Huh?
84-48. Just, wow.
Wow.
Pretty good ball game.
Here's the official distance for Kevin Ferking, a 176.19. 176.19 for Kevin Ferking and track Beaver.
All right, here we come now. Saw him win at Owensboro, saw him win at Chapel Hill. Whoa. Folks, let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it? Bill Douglas out of Canada. All the way from Canada to pull here tonight. Well, I'm standing here with our leader, Jerry Stewart. Now, Jerry, I know that you pull pretty tough down in Alabama and Tennessee. You won a lot of championships down there. You always did it with two motors. Now you jumped up and put the third one on. Look what you done all right on the first shot.
Yeah, this is the first shot I've got on these three. I've tried it a little bit this summer and I couldn't get it down the track, but this is the first time it went down the track with three.
So Louisville's been pretty good to you, huh?
So far, so good.
So now you always been running the Keith Black Hemis. Is that what you like to run?
Yes, sir. I've been running for about 4 years.
Well, congratulations. You're the only guy out of here so far, although we do have some hot irons still waiting to come.
Oh, yes. There's plenty more back there to get in the sand.
All right. Let's see what happens. The man, first time he's pulled three motors. He's number one right now, Jerry Stewart out of Tennessee.
Here's the official distance now for Bill Douglas Jr., 220.06. 220.06. That's for Bill Douglas Jr. Well, next up, we'll have Jim Brockman out of New Haven, Indiana with In-Laws and Outlaws. In-laws and outlaws up next. Jim Brockman driving the Kodiak modified tractor. It looks like he has approximately 4,500 horsepower. Jump to life now on the Kodiak modified tractor.
All right, we got Brockman coming up here. Let's talk about Brockman for a minute. Paul Andrews, his crew chief, really likes this guy because I tell you what, this guy will punish this tractor. I mean to tell you, he will punish it. Now, you wait and see. You think they've been coming out of the hole strong. You watch Brockman come out of the hole. Generally, it's hammer down. If it blows, we'll fix it again. So let's see what happens now as he goes back to the line. Jim Brockman out of Indiana, the In-Laws and Outlaws pulling team. Watch the throttle, folks. He's got that throttle in the right hand, and he doesn't ease it. He slams it. So let's watch what happens now. There's his crew chief, Paul Andrews. He's checked things out, make sure everything is okay. Now the Kodiak In-Laws and Outlaws team. Let's see what Brockman does. Here he comes. One of the top pullers in the country right here. Well, what I tell you, he was running good. He had to get on the binders, folks. He had to get on the binders real tough to keep out of bounds. No doubt he had to keep from going out of bounds. How about it, folks? Let's give Jim Brockman a nice round of applause. How about it? Jim Brockman, ladies and gentlemen. The Kodiak In-Laws and Outlaws pulling team.
And the distance for Jim Brockman, 228.57. 228.57 for Jim Brockman. Okay, that'll bring up Tony Martin with the Terminator out of Batavia, Iowa. Tony Martin, the Terminator.
Hey, you want to go modified tractor pulling? This tractor is for sale. If you'd like to buy a tractor, it is for sale, folks. You can make your purchases here tonight. He'll be glad to haul it home for you, whatever. Tony Martin, Batavia, Iowa. Tough competitor back in the state of Iowa, especially in 5,800 pound. He can sail, boy, I'll tell you. Let's see what happens tonight. Tony Martin, the Banner chassis machine on the line. Whoa! Good run for the Terminator. All right, folks, let's give Tony a nice round of applause. Tony Martin, ladies and gentlemen, from Batavia, Iowa, made a nice run. Thank you, Tony, very, very much.
Here's the distance now for Tony Martin, 235.86, and that's good enough for fourth so far in the running. Tony Martin and the Terminator, 235.86. So far, that's good enough for fourth.
That's going to put him on the bubble right there. He goes to the bubble, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight in Louisville, Kentucky. The 1997 edition of the National Farm Machinery Show Championship Tractor Pull. Folks, I tell you what, you may be leaving just a little bit too early. We have got two super tough tractors yet to go. The Dirt Slinger of Bill Leishner and the Randy Canadian of Bill Lawrence out of Melita, Manitoba. And I'll tell you what, I've always said it for a long time, one of the top 3 engine tractors in the country is Leishner, and also one of the top Allison Aircraft engines, Randy Canadian. He was here last year. Bill Lawrence, you can't cut him out. So let's see what happens now. He gets ready to go with the Randy Canadian. All right, so here we come with the Randy Canadian. I'm not going to get into what that means. I know I finally asked him today, but I can't tell anybody because of small children in the crowd. But anyway, here we come to the line right now. The Randy Canadian, Bill Lawrence, out of Melita, Manitoba, and his Randy Canadian. Now, last year, he won on the preliminaries last year. Let's see what he does here tonight. Bill Lawrence on the starting line. Very, very capable, sticking it in the sand. Very capable. And also you got Leishner coming up. You can't count the Dirt Slinger out of Weldon, Illinois. No doubt about it. What I tell you, you can't beat a tractor pull announcer, I'll tell you. You got to listen to me, folks. You got to listen to me. What I tell you, I know my tractors, boys and girls, no doubt about it. The Randy Canadian right there is in the sand. Y'all thought I was kidding you when you said, that thing ain't going to make it down the track. Uh-huh. Well, I tell you what, folks, I may be getting near 50 years old, but I know my tractors. Let's give him a nice round of applause, folks. Bill Lawrence, the Randy Canadian. Question is, will we have 2 or only 3 going to the finish? Let's see what happens. Watch the sand. Let's see what he does here. Well, I was close anyway. Daggone it. Had to get on the binders, folks. Had to get on the binders. So we're going to have 2 in the pull-off.
07, 233.07 for Bill Leishner.
Whoa! Man, oh man, he stayed with it, boy. I'll tell you what, oil coming out from the valve covers and all. He stayed with it. Yes, sirree. I don't know whether he went out or not, but he's just about blowing the valve covers off that baby, I'll tell you.
7.3, 230.73. That'll be the mark to match or beat in this pull-off here.
All right, here we go now. On the line, the last shot of the night. Is it going to be Stewart or is it going to be Bill Lawrence? In a matter of seconds, we're going to know, folks. Watch the cone. Watch the cone right here. The front of the sled goes by this cone. That's your winner right there. The front of the sled past the orange cone. That's your winner. So let's see what happens. All right, Lawrence is set. Here we go. Shield comes down on the helmet. Here comes that twin Allison on the line. Oh, man, right there. There's your winner, Jerry Stewart. He wins it here tonight. Bill Lawrence will be second. Third will be Wayne Longnecker, and fourth, Brian Piper.
Here this evening, Kevin Ferking finishing 15th. Art Arfons finishing up in the number 14 spot. Bob Jostock finishing 13th. Bill Douglas Jr. finishing 12th. Jim Brockman finishes 11th this evening, while Randy Petro finishes up at 10th. Dave Archer finishing up at 9th. Bill Leschner finishing 8th. 7th spot went to Dennis Christensen. 6th to Tom Bollinger. And then finishing up at 5th, Tony Martin. Finishing up in 4th spot, it was Brian Piper. And Butch Krieger, you've got the top 3 down trackside, right?
Hey, thanks, Frank. I appreciate it. Okay, Jerry Stewart, tell you what, you got your act together. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, I was pretty pleased.
So what are you going to do now? You're going to just go through all the motors, change? Look like you got some valve cover gasket problems over there on the right side.
Yeah, I've got some valve cover gaskets I got to put on, and everything seems to be running okay, so just sort of tune it up and go again.
Well, had you planned to stay tonight?
We got reservations for tonight, but no more the rest of the week, so I guess we'll be on the sidewalk till Saturday.
Anybody got a room for this guy, let him know he needs a room. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a nice round of applause. He's your winner here tonight, Jerry Stewart, out of Paris, Tennessee. Congratulations. And our trophy presenter, representing Kentucky State Fair Board, Mr. Gib Gosser, and representing the Zinnigan Ag Products is Mr. Bob Hendrickson, right there. Okay. All right, Mr. L, let's talk about it. You didn't let me down. My boy down there, Slinger, let me down tonight, but you didn't let me down.
No, I'm glad I did. A second last year, a second again this year.
Well, I tell you what, just keep on going. Maybe Saturday night you'll be sitting up there.
Maybe I shouldn't have driven in the sand so far and kept a little bit of distance for the last run.
That might have did it. What happened?
I don't know. I maybe had a fuel problem. One engine shut down there, and it just seemed right at the moment I have to check it out.
Anybody you want to thank tonight?
Certainly, I'd like to thank the Farm Machinery Board for giving me a chance to come back here and pull, and Zeneca for sponsoring this great event.
Well, look at here. Now, you got a motel room for the rest of the week, don't you?
I've been here all week.
All right, good enough. Bill Lawrence, congratulations. We'll see you Saturday night.
Thanks, Butch.
All right, Bill Lawrence, folks, right there from Canada. All right, he did good. And here we come again. Another Allison-powered machine right here. All right, Longnecker. Let's see. When does Indiana play Iowa again? Do we know?
I think it's 98.
Oh, we don't play again now? We've already played twice, or just playing once this time this year?
Just once. You're lucky this year.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, you beat me, didn't you? Yeah, you rat. Okay. Well, listen, not a bad shot, and we're looking forward to seeing you back here Saturday night. What are you going to do to the tractor to change things?
I got to look at the gearbox first. I think I might have a problem there, but other than that, if we can get that going, I'm not going to change too much of anything.
Well, I'll tell you what, it really, really performed well for you tonight. We notice now you run the twin turbochargers in the front. Do you have a supercharger here, or you do not, do you?
You know, the back motor's just supercharged, just the original supercharger, and the front one's got the turbos plus the supercharger.
Okay, how much advantage do you have with the twin turbos?
Well, I don't know if I should say. Quite a little bit.
All right, good enough. You don't need to say any more. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your third place man, Wayne Longnecker out of Iowa, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a nice round of applause. And once again, our trophy presenters, Mr. Gib Gosser, representing the Kentucky State Fair Board, Bob Hendrickson, Executive Ag Products, Illinois, and Lightning, the 4010 John Deere. Hey, folks, now I'm going to tell you something right now. He made a good run, but he's got a big problem, folks, a big problem. When he hit the sand pile here, both wheels went in opposite directions. So he's got a Y pattern on the front of this tractor right now. As he broke the driving area here, he broke the radius arms, the A arms on the front of that tractor. He's bent them out of shape. We're probably going to need a lift to get him out of here, I would say. But folks, let's give that man a nice round of applause, because I don't know if he's going to be able to come back or not.
Redneck and Jody Ross. Jody cinching up the weights down at the starting line and just about set to go here. Just as soon as we get the finish area of the course cleared off, as this Caterpillar lift tractor here delivers the white lightning to the sidelines, and we're just about ready to go.
Once again, we need Cindy Link to bring her crescent wrench here to the to the finish line area, if they would, please. All right, international people, here we go. On the starting line, Jody Ross out of Pennsylvania with the high-tech Redneck on the starting line here. Here we go. Super stock at its best here at Freedom Hall. And right there for the high-tech Redneck.
$221.74. 221.74. How about it, international fans?
They know they're going to get you, no doubt about it. And they're going to bring you to a screeching halt here in Freedom Hall. Who's up next now?
Johnny Trexler out of Gold Hill, North Carolina, driving the Joker. Johnny Trexler, the third puller in this class.
All right, international people, let's get your hands together. Let's get this guy down the track. And right there for the Joker. Out of Gold Hill, North Carolina, Johnny Trexler. Well, we're talking super stock tractors here. You start with a stock block, and then you do a little work on the inside of the motor. You add as many turbochargers as you want, as we have unlimited turbochargers. Some of these guys may have up to 4, even more turbochargers in the super stock category.
7.6. 205.76 for Johnny Trexler.
Well, here's the winner from last year on the preliminary nights. Kevin Dombach, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Dombach will be on the starting line out of Fumble, Pennsylvania with Firefox. All right, here we go. Kevin Dombach. He did it last year. Let's see what he does tonight. On the line, Kevin Dombach. Oh, not going to be this year, though. I'll tell you that right now. Just a little bit too light on the nose for Kevin Dombach here tonight out of Pennsylvania in the John Deere 7800, known as Firefox, right there.
183.62 for Kevin Dombach.
Let's see what this alcohol burner does. Most of these alcohol burners are quick, powerful, and they pick it up and put it down. Let's see what happens. Whoa, I'll tell you what, folks, he had a good run going. Unfortunately, though, he had to get on the brakes. He almost went out of bounds. He had to get on that left brake, and man, when you do that, slow that momentum down, you're in big trouble, no doubt about it. So the Show Me Showdown, the Case IH, 7220 right there. 200.18. 200.18 for Marino out of Macon, Missouri. Tough run, I'll tell you. He had a ouch. And problems for Benny McKinnon right there as he got ready to leave the starting line with the D21 as he talks it over with our starter down there, Ernie Diggs, and we're going to need a tow tractor. Tow tractor, please.
I'll tell you, Butch, it sounded like problems right off the bat for Benny, as it appeared to us that some parts were already starting to break there on the tractor, right there on the starting line. And then the Green Phantom coming up next, Lewis McDonald. How about it, John Deere fans? Here's the Green Phantom.
All right, Mr. McDonald at the wheel. Out of Maryland, here comes the Green Phantom right now. RPM goes up. He watches those gauges. He's ready to nail that. Here he comes right now, and he hammers it. He's on his way. No. And picked the wrong gear, sports fans, no doubt about it, where he came off the starting line. Clutch slipping a little bit too there. A little bit of clutch slippage also with the Harwood, Maryland-based machine known as the Green Phantom. Let's give him a nice round of applause, folks. How about it? He gave a good effort at it anyway. The Green Phantom.
174.65. 174.65. Okay, just about set to go now with our next pull. Here's Joe Webster, Verona, Kentucky, prime time.
All right, all you people in the first 5 rows, you have our permission to go to the bathroom right now. No doubt about it. You may leave and go to the local, yeah, okay. No doubt about it. Our boys from Northwest up there.
They'll let you know about it, won't they?
Cheerleading continues at the top of the group up there in 333, led by our man Kritzler, no doubt about it. Jed Johnson in the Black Widow. That's a good run at International. Waiting in the wings over there. Jed told me today, he said, Butch, I'm not going to disappoint you. We're going to go as far and farther than we did last year. Remember, Jed chucked some problems, he had to pull about 2 or 3 times, ended up hurting the engine last year in Super Stock, but he's okay now. Let's see what happens. Here we come with Brian Stramick. Well, the young blood, Alice Chalmers, right there, folks. Brian Stramick out of Missouri as he makes his run here tonight. Well, we need to give you a rundown of where we currently stand. Your leader, of course, is the tractor of Jody Ross, the high-tech redneck. He leads the way here at 2:21 and 74. He's your leader. Second place, currently, Johnny Trexler, the Joker out of Gold Hill, North Carolina. He's right there. We've got we got David Marino currently third out of Macon, Missouri. And running fourth, we've got the Kevin Dombach machine at 183 and 62. Go for it, Frank. Oh, wait a minute. Here's your pull distance now for Brian Stramick, 194 and 51. 194.51, 194 and 51. You are in row C, and you are in seat 113. You are going to win some lottery tickets. If you've got it, bring your ticket stubs down here and see us, match it up, and we will give you the lottery tickets. One more time. Section 312, row C, seat 113. Frank, I don't think anybody wants the tickets, do you?
I tell you, I'm just trying to get some confirmation.
Is he on his way? Okay, they found him. Good.
They're
all
on
right.
their way down here.
How many are we going to give him now? How many
We're going to give them 100 lottery tickets.
Man,
how about that?
Whoa. 100 lottery tickets. Here's my friend Jed Johnson now out of Upton, Kentucky on the starting line with the Black Widow machine. And here he comes. Come on, Jed. Come on down. Oh, man. Oh. Boy, I tell you what, when he puked a motor, he really puked a motor, no doubt about it. Man, oh man. All right, international people, how about all of Freedom Hall? All Jed's going to get here tonight is your applause. Let's give him a nice round of applause. You know, I hate to come over and ask you this, but I'm going to ask you this right now. You're going to probably tell me that you just freshened that motor up. That's probably a brand new engine, and you don't even think about the amount of money that's laying on the ground here at Freedom Hall, right?
Well, one thing, Butch, I'm going to tell you is a brand new motor from the pan, even a brand new stack for in here in Freedom Hall. And right now we ain't got nothing but a pile of junk.
And you know what, folks? He's laughing about it. No, I would probably be crying. Jed, you told me today, you said, Butch, I'm really going to put a show on for you tonight.
Daddy always told me when we left the house to come to Louisville, he said, son, if you're going to hang a rod out, he said, do it in front of the big crowd. Boys, we did it tonight.
Let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it? Jed Johnson. He hung it out.
The distance for Jed Johnson before the engine fell out of it here is 191.44. 191.44 for Jed Johnson.
Frank, you want to interview this guy? Come on over here. Frank, you might as well take the interview.
Excellent storing, handling, mixing, and spraying characteristics.
All right.
Firstly, it mixed fluidly in our mix vat. It mixed well with 28 wool water. It didn't quite range or anything of that sort. Running through the truck on any side screen or plastic like that nozzle.
The performance will be excellent compared to the other products in the market.
Well, right there for Chuck Lee, folks, out of Macon, Missouri, the high stepping 1066. Another one of those Missouri pullers here with us tonight. Another good tractor on the way now. Dennis Goodwin up next out of Farnhamville, Iowa with the Magnum Force. This guy could put it in the sand, folks. On deck, Jordan Lustig and the Silver Bullet, and in the hole, Dave Anderson out of Queen City, Missouri. 66, 966 and on forth. I'll tell you what, these guys do a lot of farming back in Iowa, but they also do a lot of pulling. These guys are one to reckon with here. This gentleman knows his track. He knows his tractors. Let's see what the man does here before. Farmer winner here, Louisville, Kentucky, the National Farm Machinery Show Championship Tractor Pull, and it will be Dennis Goodwin.
The distance for Chuck Lee was 189.16. 189.16 for Chuck Lee. And here we go. Here's Dennis Goodwin.
All right, Case IH, good run. Let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it, folks? We might have a new leader with that 7130 right there. Dennis Goodwin out of Farnhamville, Iowa.
5'2", 218.52 for Dennis Goodwin.
How about a John Deere, people? Let's give him some encouragement. All right, they're backing you, Jeff, no doubt about it. Here comes that John Deere 4010 on the starting line. We're ready to go. And right there. Boy, that alcohol burner was a smoking, no doubt about it. Made a good run.
Five, 220.65 for Jeffrey Justice.
Think you're going to do it? Well, here you come, the 17-year-old high school student out of 84, Pennsylvania, driving the Silver Bullet. This used to be the Connor Brothers tractor right here, folks. Let's see what happens. Big old 3205 cat motor. Here he comes, Jordan Lustig. Right there. Lustig comes up a little bit short, no doubt about it. Jordan Lustig. It could be still an international here tonight. We got a lot of tractors yet to go, but I thought, I've seen this tractor pull many times, I thought he'd be in the sand.
209.78 for Jordan Lustig. As well, Ed Winkle advisor, and they're down in sections 323 and 302. Welcome to Freedom Hall. Let's see, we also have 38 members here tonight from the Goreville FFA. We'd like to welcome them to the tractor pull. There they are.
So we're waiting for that IH to get ready to go here. Dave Anderson from Queen City, Missouri on the starting line. The RPM start up. Let's watch what happens. He could bump the Lustig tractor with a pull better than 209 feet. Let's see what he does. Oh. Now he gets another shot, folks, if he's able to come back. It takes two to make your run here. And if the tractor is okay, he'll go right back, and they'll pull him right back to the starting line and give him another shot. No doubt about it.
.91 before he obviously had some problems there with his injury.
Frank, I saw these hats over here and all these jackets. I want to find out where these guys are from, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Lloyd Lipke.
Lloyd Litke, okay? Where are you from, Lloyd?
We designed a sled after hours, so we got acquainted with these folks from here to Germany. So about every 2.5, 3 years they come back and we visit together.
Oh, that's great. Folks, let's give our friends from Germany a nice round of applause. They're here at the tractor pull, all right? And they do a lot of pulling in Europe, no doubt about it. We're glad to see these guys here. Thank you. Back to the starting line. Here we go. The Blagraves. Whoa, man, oh man, what a run for our boys out of Ackerley, Texas, right there.
Steve Blagrave with the International, hauling it all the way down to the business end of the course here. We'll get the official distance here in just a moment. 1.22. And that'll put him in second place so far.
Man, that's close. Now, how many hundredths of a foot is he out of the number one spot? Let's see.
It looks like 221.74 is the top mark set by Jody Russ. And then 221.22 is the second place mark. So about 6 inches.
Yeah, right at 52 hundredths of a foot. You are right at 6 inches. So Jody Ross is hanging in there, and he's only got one more bullet to dodge, and it's all over but the shouting. The man goes to the winner's circle. No doubt about it. All right, we have one tractor to go now. Let me tell you something about this tractor, folks. You can't ever count this guy out. This guy runs all over Tennessee and Alabama. He also runs on, we've seen him on the U.S. Hot Rod circuit also. He's big in the Chapel Hill, Tennessee area, where he pulls down there all the time at the Super Pull of the South. He doesn't come north very often. When he does, though, Fuqua has won here before. So this is a 3688 Jay Fuqua out of Tennessee coming your way here now, out of Springfield, Tennessee. Now, we talked to our friend a while ago, Jeff Kazizik, and this is evidently one of his big customers that Jeff sells the good Zenica products to. So let's see what happens now. The Tennessee tracks. I've seen this tractor on. I've seen this tractor off. I want to tell you right now, though, this boy could put this thing way down. Jody Ross, he's got one tractor to look at, and it's right here. And he's still very interested in it. Jody, come over here, stand by me, buddy. Because I'm going to congratulate you either way, but let's stand over here. What do you think about this tractor coming? You don't want to watch?
I want to watch. He's a good guy, and he can't be all bad on an international.
All right, he can't be all bad. Okay. Here we come now. It's green light time. International people, let's rise to the occasion. Here you come right now. the Tennessee Tracks, Jay Fuqua. Well, it's too close to call, folks. We're going to find out here whether Jody Ross is a winner or if the 3688 has taken the bacon home here tonight. We've had a real fine super stock class here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt about it. However, it ends up. Tell you what, let's give everybody in the super stock class a nice round of applause. How about it? It's been a good class, folks. The question is, did he beat Jody or not with his high-tech redneck? We'll find out in just a minute.
.219.30, so it did definitely come up a little bit short there, but nonetheless, it gave it a good run.
That puts him number 3, right? Yeah. It does?
Yeah, they're telling me.
Okay, that makes him number 4, they said. All right, so he will be the 4th tractor. He will return on Saturday night. Jay Fuqua, he is into Saturday night's program with the Tennessee Tracks. Let's give him a nice round of applause, folks. He's your 4th place man right there, Jay Fuqua.
Zeneca Agricultural Products provide awards that make this show a championship truck and tractor pull. And our thanks once again going out to Zeneca Products. Butch Krieger will join us down on trackside along with some fine dignitaries here in Freedom Hall to present the awards. But let's have a look at the rundown of the 16 entries here this evening in this class as we wrap up the action. Joe Webster credited with a 16th place finish. Finishing up 15th would be David Anderson. Finishing 14th, it was Benny McKinnon. Finishing 13th, based on the distance, Lewis McDonald. Finishing 12th, Kevin Dombach.
Oh! Holy cow! All right, here we go now. On the line with Sabrina. Young lady has run very, very well up in Ohio, the Northwest Ohio's Tractor Pull Association National the Tractor Pulling Championship. She's won up there before. She's done very well. Seen her run on the national tour. She likes to run indoors also. Here comes Sabrina Stockton. Nobody knew about this young lady until a couple of years ago. She started making some noise. So let's see what happens to Sabrina with her 1909 C-Cab. Whoa! How about that Sabrina Stockton, man? She nailed it. Let's give her a nice round of applause, too. They changed the sled, yeah. Sabrina Stockton, man, she's cooking. Two-wheelers are getting a hold of the property here tonight, making a good run. You know, the sled, we thought the sled was still just a little bit tight, not right, a little bit light, so they've changed some things down there. Let's see what happens to Walsh now. On the line, Dan Walsh. Oh, man. Tow tractor. Now let's look what happened down here, folks. Ernie, let me have that. Ernie Diggs, let me see that. All right. Folks, This is probably the key to most supercharged motors right here. This is it. It's what they call the blower belt. When the blower belt goes, that's the end of it right there. Because what happens to make that super horsepower, that blower belt turns that big rotor on top, turns the rotors in that supercharger. It forces the air down into the injection system, mixes it with the fuel, and that's what makes that super horsepower. Now this belt costs about 125 bucks right now, and I'm sure somebody would like to have a souvenir in the audience, no doubt about it. Who wants one? There you are right there. So anyway, we've got Dan will get another chance. It broke before he got past the 75 foot. They'll get another blower belt, put it back on, and he'll be able to come back here in just a minute. Let's there.
.13, 228.13 for Danny Hubert. Okay, here's the dirt flirt now. Let's see what he's got. .88, 200.88 for Rick Austin and the dirt flirt.
In each class. And the sales desk is located in the front of the Coliseum. There's also a Thriller Special, 94, 95, and 96. They are 3 for $69 or $25 each. Here we go with Collins now out of Clarence, Missouri on the starting line with a Packard. Well, they really tightened up the old sled, no doubt about it. When they made that last gear change, they really started getting them, no doubt about it. They got them now. You know we're going to get you. 213.59, 213.59. All right, here we go now with Sabrina Stockett out of Lothian, Maryland, folks. She made a good run a while ago. I'll tell you what, they may want to look at that other pull a while ago because this little gal can do it again. Let's see what happens now. That thing. Hey, I don't know. Okay, that thing stays together. Look out, folks. I'll tell you, she could go. One 6.69 to 16.69. Well, out of Nels, your leader continues to be Danny Hubert with Jack Daniels. Right there. Heilman. Your pull distance for Jamie Mattingly, 218.02, 218.02, and that puts him in the number 2 spot at 218.02. He goes number 2 with that run. Well, we're going to have the full pull marked at 230 feet, 230 for a full pull here in the class. No one is there yet, but we still got some good iron waiting in the wings here. Chance to make a full pull. .86, 220.86, 220.86. He runs blowing Oldsmobiles. He likes the Oldsmobile, the Fowler motor. And let's see what happens now as he comes to the starting line. The Missouri Raider, Dick McPherson, out of Circleville, Ohio.
Let's go back to Butch for puller number 9.
All right, here we go now with James Wilson Jr. Well, folks, that's what you call going right out of the ballpark. Out of bounds, and that automatically gets you a disqualification right there. So he couldn't keep her from going out of bounds. She kept going to the side. He kept on the brake, but to no avail. He's trying to get on down the track. Let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it, folks? What do you say? He made it a good effort, but problems for James Wilson tonight out of Huntington, Maryland with his Renegade. Whoa, man, he made a good shot. Let's give him a nice round of applause, folks. How about it? The Sullivans. Good, strong run for Young Gun. 226.83. 226.83 for Sullivan. 226.83. Here's a guy who won the Illinois points. .18, 224.18. That puts him in the number 4 spot right now. He is number 4 with that run. All right, here's another Nelson County representative out of Bardstown, Kentucky. Here comes T.J. Tatum. And the Tatum Auto Supply Foolish Pleasure Chevy S10. That was your defending champion right there, the Leichners from last year. Young boy came in here and just set everybody on fire. Won it on Saturday night and everything else. Here we go now with another truck very capable of taking over the number 1 spot here tonight. It will be Tatum. Out of Bardstown, Kentucky, T.J. Tatum, and that Chevy S10 right there. On the starting line, student at the University of Kentucky, T.J. Tatum. .193.29, 193.29 for the Foolish Pleasure. Now this truck was owned by Brian McDonald at one time. Brian McDonald out of Maryland. And this truck has been a national champion at Bowling Green, Ohio at the National Tractor Pulling Championships. Brian McDonald won the ring up there several times in that August pull. But Roland Barr bought the truck, and let's see what happens, or the car, I should say. Here we come.
Protein. Soybean is definitely protein filled. Let's go to the 15th puller of the category. Back to Butch Krieger.
Here we go, Kurt Marling now on the starting line. Kurt Marling out of Ohio. Ouch. Well, he broke something in the drivetrain, folks. I'll tell you that right now. Man, that engine went way upstairs, I'll tell you. And those rods said, ouch, real quick. Let's give him a nice round of applause, folks. How about it? Kurt Marling, the boot scooting boogie. Big Ohio State tractor puller point champs in the 1995. We know that. Not only did he last year, I know he was doing very well on the point tour, but tough luck for Kurt Marling tonight. Your pull distance for Roland Barr was 216.98, 216.98 for Roland Barr. And we've got Wayne Roush and Don Finney and Dan Walsh yet to come your way.
We're just about out of prizes. I believe we've got one more T-shirt to give away. We're going to head back over to the other side. Right now we have the number 16 up. Back to Butch Krieger.
Here's Wayne Roush now out of Dublin, Ohio. Wayne Roush, Dublin, Ohio. The yellow Model T makes his run. The Doctor of Agriculture, Ohio State University. Made a strong run here tonight, folks. Could have taken over the number 4 spot. Let's give you a rundown. Your leader, Jack Daniels. Second, young gun, Danny Sullivan. Third, the Missouri Raider. And fourth, we need to find out for sure. We currently have Shannon Leishner in the number 4 spot. We'll wait and find out for sure. But 2:19 and 47. 2:19.47. Well, here we come with Don Finney now. Don Finney comes to us, folks, with the up and gone machine here. Don Finney out of Paris, Illinois. Used to be owned by Keith Long. This was a truck that came out of Glasgow, Kentucky. Was owned by Keith Long years ago. And Don Finney bought this truck here, I guess 2 years ago, and has been working on it, perfected it. Let's see what he does here. Last night he had some problems with steering, and they allowed him to come back tonight, so we're glad to see him in the program. Here we come now, Don Finney out of Paris, Illinois. Don Finney, folks, Paris, Illinois, with Up and Gone.
Okay, we have one more prize left from the Kentucky Soybean Association, and we're going to...
Anybody can beat Jack Daniels. It's this Ford. How many Ford fans are in the audience here tonight? Well, Ford fans, I'll tell you right now, you got a Chevrolet number 1, but if anybody can do it, this is the man you want to watch right here, the Irish Challenger. U.S. Hot Rod Point Champ. Let's see what he does as he gets ready to go here. The Irish Challenger. Not tonight, folks. Big problems. Big, super problems for the Ford. Your winner's going to be Jack Daniels. How about a Chevrolet, people? Let's give him a nice round of applause. Where are my Chevrolet fans? All right. Second place, Chevrolet. And third place, the Missouri Raider Ford right there. So it's 1, 2, and 3 here tonight.
For years, For years, for years, Oh, test, 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 test. Hello, test, 1, 2. Test, test.
Well, Danny Hubert, I'll tell you something right now. Let's get your jacket changed here first, and then we'll go from there. But talking to the guy that built this chassis, ladies and gentlemen, every time this truck comes to Louisville, he seems to win here in Freedom Hall. Danny Hubert, what's your secret, man?
Well, I got Bill Humphrey behind me and Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels and Bill Humphrey, huh? Congratulations on a great win. You were sitting down there, you were so worried that something was going to happen. You only had 3 trucks to go. That meant that even if they beat you, you would have been 4th.
Well, we wanted to get the win. That's the main thing.
Well, you got it, buddy boy. Let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it? Jack Daniels, Danny Hubert. Everybody's favorite truck here tonight, no doubt about it. Our trophy presenters, Mr. William Toll, representing Kentucky State Fair Board, and Scott Freeze of Zenica Ag Products. Well, it's a Sullivan family tradition right here. We've got Brant, we've got Donnie, we've got Danny, and we got Dad and Paul. So we've got all the Sullivan. You guys just have boys in your family? Is that what it is? Just have all boys? Oh, there's one sister. Okay, yeah, Sherry, okay. Well, Danny, congratulations. I'll tell you what, it's been a long time since I've seen you drive, but, man, you did great tonight.
Yeah, it worked good for us tonight.
You guys must really been wrenching over the winter.
Yeah, we've been having mag trouble the last 6 months, and we went back to the old style, and it worked.
Well, you did tonight. I'll tell you what, congratulations. Let's give them a nice round of applause. You want to thank anybody?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Ashland Oil and Valvoline and Dorman Products for helping us out.
And that's that your fan club over there?
Yeah, that's my family.
That's the family. All right. Let's give him a nice round of applause, folks. How about it? Danny Sullivan. And they'll be back here on Saturday night, no doubt about it. The Sullivans out of Warsaw, Kentucky. Our trophy presenters, Mr. William Toll, representing Kentucky State Fair Board, and Scott Freeze of Zenica Ag Products. What do you say, Mr. McPherson?
We had a pretty good year this year, but we put a different motor in for tonight, and we're just trying to get it dialed in. We made a run this afternoon, and everything worked out good. I'd like to have a better run tonight, but I'm satisfied.
Have you ever become a believer of the Oldsmobile motor yet?
Have we what?
The Oldsmobile. You still running it?
Well, yeah, it's an Oldsmobile. We just made a few changes before we come down here, and we gained 300 or 400 horse more, and we hadn't had before, and so we run it here faster, and it helped.
So you dyno these motors as every chance you get, right?
Well, we play around a lot with them.
You play around. Ladies and gentlemen, number 3 here tonight, Circleville, Ohio. He's going to be with us Saturday night. Tomorrow night, the Missouri Raider. Let's give Dick McPherson a nice round of applause. How about it, Ford people? What do you say? And once again, representing Zenica Ag Products, Mr. Scott Freeze, and representing Kentucky State Fair Board, Mr. Bill Toll. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, a word from our friends at Zenica Ag Products. Tape over the headers. So let's see what happens. Folks, as we told you a while ago, although he has 4 motors on here, you're only allowed to run 3 in the class. And you can see the right front motor here has been taped. The valve covers are on top of the headers right now, or the header cover, I should say. This engine was dead totally during that run. So he only ran with the front motor on the left side, and the 2 rear motors is the way he ran at that particular one. Now, a lot of you people say, how can they do this? Well, let's look at it. These engines are more or less go into 1 gearbox here, 1 gearbox back here. They have a drive shaft running in between. It comes back and goes all the way into another drive shaft area. It runs completely into the rear end of the tractor. It's a marvel, an engineering marvel, folks, the way these guys set these things up. A lot of the engines tonight that you'll see when they're 3 in a row, the 2 front motors will be bolted, as they say, crank to crank, from crankshaft to crankshaft. They go into 1 gearbox, where the engine will sit up on top or above them, will go into another gearbox, yet they all come into 1 junction at the end, which goes into the rear wheels. So it's really an engineering marvel, but this motor was completely shut off during that run. It did not run at all. He only ran with those 3 motors. And I bet he's going to turn that pull down. Steve Klingenberg out of Michigan, no doubt about it.
For years, Zenica has shared a cooperative spirit with...
They are not turbocharged. They are simply fuel injected. They run off the supercharger that goes with these particular motors. These were out, I think, the P38. All right, that's just alcohol, which is collected up in the top of those headers, and it'll burn off clean, no doubt about it. But a good run for the money pit.
The distance now for Steve Bollinger is 220.71. 220.71 for Steve Bollinger. Next up, it'll be Donnie Sullivan from Warsaw, Kentucky, with the Kentuckian.
Well, we jump right back in with the Sullivans here, folks. Here we come, the Kentuckian. With the Rodec motors on board. Let's see what happens now with the Kentuckian.
And it looks like they may have possibly had a small fuel leak on the Kentuckian. We'll get the word from the officials here as to what may have been the problem. But nonetheless, a good-looking pull there from the Warsaw, Kentucky native. And the Kentuckian, Donnie Sullivan, and the distance is 179.22. 179.22. Let's hear it for Donnie Sullivan.
Chassis I got over here in modified pulling. And man, they did. In the last couple of years, these guys have been one to reckon with. It's the Martin brothers out of Bonnie, Illinois. Let's see what happens now as they come to the starting line. The Martin brothers. All right, the Martin brothers right there, folks. Generally, they can run as many as 5 engines on this tractor. But these guys tonight running only 3 with the Martin brothers tractor here tonight with us. They run all over the United States Hot Rod Tour, and we're glad to see them here with us tonight at Freedom Hall.
49210.49 for Tom Martin and the Martin brothers. Get in the bad habit. Steve Klingenberg now pulling out. The bad habit out of Holland, Michigan.
Well, he really fried that cylinder on that right rear motor, folks. I'll tell you. You saw the flames coming out of there. He really took care of that cylinder. They had some major work to do with that engine, no doubt about it. Let's give him a nice round of applause, folks. How about it? The bad habit, Steve Klingenberg, out of Michigan.
94, 186.94.
All right, here we go now. Terry Sokol. Well, 3 blown Chevrolets all in a row. 1, 2, and 3 of the Chevrolets. And he brings her to stop right there with Henri. Battle of Pierre, Michigan. The Henri 7,200-pound modified tractor. Your leader continues to be Steve Bollinger. Steve Bollinger with 220.71. Second place, the Martin brothers, 210.49. Third currently, Steve Klingenberg, 186.94. And the Sullivans were then running fourth at 179.22. So we'll see what we got.
7-7, 184.77 for Terry Sogel.
All right, here we go now. Gary Diekman, Northwood, Ohio, the Rat Poison. Double Allison on the starting line. We've already got a double Allison in the lead. Let's see what he does now. Well, folks, the Northwood, Ohio base machine with some major problems in the drivetrain area. The coupler coming loose there for Gary Diekman and brings him to a screeching halt right there with his Rat Poison. Let's give him a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. See if we get a word with Gary, make sure he's okay and that everything's all right here with Rat Poison. Judy Knipstein right here. Now I want all you gals in the audience to put your hands together. Let's give Judy a nice round of applause. Judy Knipstein, as she comes after the men here tonight. All right, Judy, let's see what happens here. Well, never got the thing upstairs the way she wanted to. May have came out of the wrong gear. Actually, I think the clutch was slipping so bad, never did engage to get the wheels to pump the way they wanted to. So unfortunate situation here for Our Lady out of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
.00 133.00 for Judy Knipstein. Here's Mr. Twister, Scott Tedder out of Marion, Indiana.
Well, the Twister, ladies and gentlemen, the Scott Tedder family has been pulling for a long, long time. And let's see what happens now. Scott Tedder comes to the starting line and get ready to make his run here. Scott Tedder, ladies and gentlemen.
.66, 207.66 for Scott Tedder and Mr. Twister. Bill Beers up next out of Coyman's Hollow, New York in the War Wagon. Bill Beers out of Coyman's Hollow, New York in the War Wagon, cinching up to the weights now and getting set to go. Ready to give the sled a ride. 204.84. 204.84 for Bill Beers. We need for Ernie Connors, please.
Morrissey yet to come here tonight. So we still got lots of hot iron waiting in the wings.
To 187.42 for Chad Schultes out of Hamilton, Illinois in the final effort.
Position here as he comes to the line right now. Running Bear, folks, Randy Davis, Tappahannock, Virginia.
.68, 187.68 for Randy Davis at Running Bear.
And I guess a Chevrolet V8 on the back. Quite a difference in contrast here. Brian McDonald. Now, he used to be a two-wheel drive truck puller. In fact, Roland Barr has his old truck, known as the Midnight Mistress. Here he comes down the starting line, ready to go. That truck pulled here a little bit earlier this evening into competition.
.06, 192.06 for Brian McDonald out of Harwood, Maryland. Up next, it'll be Doug Downs from Taylorsville, Illinois, and the Predator. And 209.07 is the distance.
That will drive, just like her dad, drive the Dragon Lady up to the track, and then she will fire those two engines, the two turbines, off of that small engine. It will create the horsepower or the turnability for those turbines. Now we direct your attention to the large elbows the stacks as we call them, the exhaust stacks on the front of Dusty's tractor down there. Now, if you've got a camera here, you don't want to miss this, folks, I'll tell you. Because Dusty's she likes to get things rocking and rolling here. She's got a good chance of winning this thing tonight, or at least placing in the top. She can be really tough. And Dusty has a brand new baby, and she hasn't been pulling a lot this year, so hopefully her father, of course, the famous Art Arfons, world famous. Watch the fires start to rise out of the end of those elbows. She'll get a little rock and roll show here going, I hope. She generally does for us. Let's see if we get any flame. There we come. Now watch. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock, roll, rock, roll. Hey, hey about it. Little fire and smoke. Let's give her a nice round of applause. Dusty Arfon. Now, ladies, let's put your hands together. Here she comes, Dusty Arfon. And right there for the Dragon Lady. Man, this is going to be close, I'll tell you. She could maybe shake the order up, take over the number 4 spot, and we'll find out.
And we'll get the official distance now for Dusty Arfons out of Akron, Ohio, and the Dragon Lady. Jet-powered puller. And the official distance, 203.82. 203.82 for Dusty Arfons out of Akron, Ohio. 220.71 is the leading distance right now. Steve Bollinger. And that'll bring up Thomas Morrissey. Thomas Morrissey out of Taylorsville, Kentucky with a Groundhog 2. It's our final puller of the night. Pulling out Steve Bollinger, the leader, with 220.71. 220.71. Steve Bollinger is the leader, and we're about to find out now.
Well, the last chance here. This used to be the old John Heilman tractor known as the Ohio Gold Machine. And let's see what happens now. He comes to the line. Morrissey, once again, a former Superstock tractor puller, and he went modified pulling also. Tom Morrissey, Taylorsville, Kentucky, on the starting line. Well, folks, let's get out here and present the gold here today. Get it started right off the bat here. Our trophy presenter is going to be the Commissioner of Agriculture for the state of Kentucky here, Billy Ray Smith. And we got Ed Houck over here, too. Billy Ray said he'd like to thank if we could, our friends from Seneca. They donated a big check today for $5,800 to the ag classroom program here in Kentucky. And I know the Commissioner of Agriculture says thanks. Hello. Yeah, from Seneca. Okay. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. You made a believer out of me tonight with these Allisons.
Boy, I tell you what, this is great. This is the third year we've come down here with this tractor, and on the first night out, last year we got second. The year before that we got a first, and we're back here again, so feels great.
And some more tough competition tomorrow night.
Oh, no doubt about that. I seem to fall back a little bit on a Saturday night when I'm going to work a little bit harder and see if I can sneak up in there a little closer.
There you go. That's the attitude to have. Anybody you want to thank?
I'd like to thank Zeneca and the National Farmer Senior Show and Bob Parks for getting these 10-ply tires on for us. I think they helped us a lot tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a nice round of applause. How about the guys from Stonington, Illinois, right there. The Bollinger boys. All right. Well, Mr. Martin, not too bad. At least you come back tomorrow night.
Yeah, Martin is pumped right now. We've been pulling down here 8 years now, I think, and it's the first time we've been able to be up here and talk to you. We're pretty happy, and we want to thank Zeneca and the National Farm Machinery Show and the committee for putting this pull on. Thank God for giving us this opportunity and all of our friends and family that's helped us.
Let me ask you this.
.93 for Debbie Sebastian and the night train.
Oh man, how about that Chevrolet? All right, Chevrolet people, stand up and be counted. Where are my Chevrolet fans? James Bosch out of West Oliver, Michigan on the starting line. Here comes that Chevrolet. He's going to shake the order up here. Let's give him a nice round of applause, folks. How about it? James Bosch. 236 and 82. That puts him in number 2 right there. What did I tell you, folks? He was number 2 last year here at Louisville. He could be tough. And it looks like we're going to have a pull-off, no doubt about it. Cooking, folks. I mean, he was cooking. And the U-joint broke in the drive shaft in the rear. He'd have been out of here. I'm telling you right now.
227.18 for Galen Young and the Renegade.
Whoa. I don't know if Charlie went out of bounds or whether he stayed in, but he was headed that way. Evidently the truck veering severely to the left side of the track there.
0.54. Now that'll be the mark to beat.
There's your champion for 1997. Well, Terry, I know last year you came up second here behind the Spellbound machine, but today it's all your show.
Well, I'm just happy to be here in this group of trucks. Anybody here can win, and you know, it's tough competition. You got to have everything right, and we've been working on it all winter.
So you said you got the toughest 640 around, believe that, right?
Well, thanks to Bamber Racing and Hagedorn Performance, we try to make a good team, and got a new sponsor this year, CarQuest and FCI.
Well, congratulations on that. Anybody you want to thank?
Oh, just my wife. She lets me come to these things.
All right, come on, get up in here, wife. Get up in the picture. It'll be fine. Let's give you a nice round of applause. How about it? Terry Hagedorn out of Thompson, Missouri. Supercharged on the line, fuel injected.
To 11.45, so that is the new mark now as our leader becomes Steve Bollinger.
Here you go, Jerry Stewart. Boy, he laid a whale of a run down. So 242 and 92, that puts him in the number one spot here tonight in the modified tractors from Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Won 6.63 for Brian Piper. Just add dirt.
Well, Jerry, I'll tell you what. It's the best I've ever seen this tractor pull, I'll tell you. You've really come a long way, buddy boy. Good job.
Thanks a lot. I've worked on it real hard, and I owe it to these right here that sit in the house while I'm out working on it.
You mean they don't even come out and help on you yet? I mean, you didn't get the guys wrenching? Oh, he does, huh? He helps.
Yeah, this is my number one mechanic right here.
That's your number one mechanic. What's his name?
Michael.
Michael. Okay. Well, Jerry, anybody you want to thank?
I just want to thank my brother-in-law for making the best frame in the country, and Sassy Racing Engines for giving me the power.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a nice round of applause. How about it? Here's your winner,